6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How about we do it again?
6, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think I farted.
Okay, let's try one more time.
I definitely
Ready?
Ranking review. Ranking review. Ranking review.
Say 6,
6,
5,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Rank and Review. This episode, regular guest Raylee Perkins returns, and she and Larry Parsons, that's me, that's the voice you're listening to right now, are going to talk about 6 bad horror movies, or bad genre movies, but we're going to talk about different flavors of bad. Raylee is an aficionado of sort of cheesy direct-to-television, low-budget, cheaply executed horror movies, and I love her for it. And we have a list here of, I think, largely failed attempts at genre, and I think the discussion is going to be what is the difference between a bad movie and a good bad movie, and how do each one of these movies fit into that. So that's the poison that you're pouring in your ears this day. If you have feedback, you can send it to ranknreview@gmail.com. That's ranknreview@gmail.com. Are these good movies? Are we wrong about these movies? You can check out the website at ranknreview.ca, and we're coming towards the end of the season, so if you need something else to fill your ears with, check out the Shelf Shedding Movie Show. It's hosted by my friend Jason Dubray. He's also a regular contributor to Rank and Review, so support the Shelf Shedding Movie Show. And enough of this preamble. We're going to go into this knowing that there's going to be spoilers and some coarse language, and that the movie's going to be bad, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Raylee Perkins. Hello.
Hi.
I have questions for you, girl.
So many questions.
I gave you a bunch of lists to choose from, and I tried to think of your personality a little bit with it, and you selected this list. And you know how I like to have little subtitles for all the episodes, and I've been watching these movies the last couple of weeks, and I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I wanted to start in a place of like, what is a good bad movie? But that's a clumsy title. But I couldn't really call the list good bad movies because there is some genuine stinkers on the list.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the list you sent me. Yeah, okay.
I mean, you and I have talked about Lake Placid movies in the past. You and I have talked about Sand Sharks and some pretty, significantly cheesy capital B level cinema. And I can watch those movies. I have no problem with that. Like, if ever my wife or anyone gives me a hard time of the movies I watch, I point out some of the television that people watch. I mean, is Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys that much dumber than your average reality TV show? Because I would argue it is not.
I mean, we just got into season 3 of Is It Cake? So, I mean, that's a classic.
There you go.
There.
How I choose to kill my brain cells are my business, but it's not. I mean, I built all of these lists. These are my lists. I kind of was hard on Mireille when she was on the show a little earlier ago. She picked this list of remakes. It was pretty weak, and I kept on saying, "Remember, you chose the list. You chose the list."
I was thinking about this when I was getting ready for this episode. Like, why did I watch these movies? And I'm like, I honestly think you make us choose so that we can't be mad at you. Like,
Well,
you can literally know it is your fault. This you, Raylee.
I made all of the lists, but you picked which list you wanted to do out of those lists. But I can't judge you, Raylee. All of these movies are from my collection. I have them in my hands right now. What does that say about me and my weird hoarding? So, first of all, thank you for being here, but why did you go with this particular bouquet, and do you think there's a theme or some sort of name we can land on for this episode?
So, I originally was just looking back at the other list you sent me, and, like, nothing really jumped out at me as, like, super interesting.
Okay.
Like, or, like, was really like, oh, that's a movie I really want to see and haven't had the opportunity to enjoy yet. And then there was one list that I would say is pretty, like, a solid list, and it has, like, more of the movies, and I'm just, like, I'm not in the mind frame for horror. It's just, like, not what my brain wants right now.
These are not grown-up movies we're watching today.
And, like, I really like Placid. Like, I really do. Like, the original, like, and I haven't really watched a lot of the other ones.
Right.
I will get into more about that in this episode of maybe why I have not watched more of them.
Yeah,
and, like,
we'll get into it.
I really like The Mummy, like, the original, like, this is, like, the prequel one, The Scorpion King, but, like, The Mummy is a great movie. I think it's funny, it's campy, so there's just a couple on here that jumped out to me that, like, I probably wouldn't watch unless someone gave me the opportunity to watch them.
Yeah.
This was the opportunity I had.
So maybe bad B horror ?
Yeah, like, they're not even horror movies to me. Like, maybe, like, I don't know. This list is tough.
It's a tough one.
One to come up with, like, what is the theme of this show? Like, what is the theme? Like, because there's a lot of, like, to me, Puppet Master doesn't really fit. Like, when I'm thinking of themes,
right,
there's always one that, like, doesn't fit, right? Like, I can be, like, creature movies, but then, like, this one doesn't fit. Or, like, horror B movies, but then, like, this one, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
How did you come up with this list? Why was this a list?
Well, again, I don't know that this one had a master plan. I was building the lists out of my collection, necessarily. For me, the one that stands out is The Scorpion King. Both on a budget level and on a subject level, it seems quite adjacent to the rest of them. But I will work defense, in air quotes, defense when we talk about the movie. It has definitely it's built on a legacy of cheesy B movies, The Scorpion King. But it's hard to call something that's that big budget and is sort of the action starring debut of The Rock. When you're measuring that to, like, Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, it's a different thing. But I think maybe what most of these movies, I will argue, have about them is that they are aware of what they are. They kind of know that they're a no-budget, toss-off horror movie or entertainment. I would argue that even the best, whatever that might be on this list, is nobody's favorite movie. These are things that you watch while you fold laundry and then you forget ever happened.
I mean, it's no Sand Shark.
Right. And ouch, right? Like ouch. This list makes me feel like I was too hard on the original Lake Placid. My memory of it was that it was mainly Bridget Fonda's character. Not Bridget Fonda the actress, but the character that she was playing in that movie, for some reason, was just rubbing me the wrong way. It was just... It was a problem. But it was...
Placid pretty good.
But now, compared to the problems that some of these movies suffer, I mean, I'm just like, oh. And I will be on your side. I will cheer for you. I will, like, want your movie to be better than it is. Like, I keep on running into movies, and we'll talk about it again today, that are bad to this level where if they were a little bit worse, they would actually become better. Like, I would be able to start laughing at it and be able to enjoy it on just the whatever level. But when it's boring or it's just flatly incompetent, it gets tough.
See, and that's like what I was thinking with this whole list is that, like, to me, it was like, there's one that'll stand out, and I'll talk about that one when we get to it, but like, they were trying too hard to be crappy B movies. Like, I don't know if all of the people in this, like, I don't know. To me, that fell flat. Like, they were almost trying to be good and didn't, so they should have leaned into the crappiness.
So that's
and it could have been better.
Yeah, but that's the sort of trauma approach to the bad movies, right? Where they're like, our movies are bad, we know the movie's bad, hey everybody, look at how bad our movie is. And I guess you can do that, and that has its audience, but I prefer that you at least set out to make a genuinely entertaining movie that was, good. I have made micro-budget films. I know how hard it is, so I am on your side. So if you're trying to make a movie and failing because of circumstances, I'm cheering for you. But if from day one of the production, you're just like, whatever, I don't give a shit, it's just another job, that translates to the screen to me. And when I feel that, then I get resentful. Then I feel like I feel my life being taken from me. And I resent it.
So one of the first movies, I think, on one of the first lists that I talked about was The Swarm.
Right.
And I think it's Michael Caine in that movie.
Yes.
And that's what you talk about. Like, I remember distinctly how angry you were.
Well, that one was long, too. That was over 2 hours. Like,
I watched the director's cut or whatever, too, the extended version.
Yeah.
But I remember how angry you were at Michael Caine for his, like, just fucking didn't care.
But I think I wanted that movie to be worse too, because that has a reputation of being one of these infamously bad movies, and it is bad. It is absolutely bad, but it's not entertainingly, awesomely, wonderfully bad. I think when I'm watching these movies, I'm looking for another Deep Blue Sea, right? Like, I'm looking for that absolutely amazing bad movie that I will watch 1,000 times, right? I don't think we found one in this list.
Arachnophobia falls into that too,
right?
Like,
yeah.
Like, I was thoroughly entertained by that movie, and I think the actors were also just having so much fun in that movie.
Fun is enough.
When they're like, because the snakes, that's a different movie. Spiders are like sneezing. Like, that's great. Let's do that.
So, thank you for doing this, but at the same time, I'm sorry you got such a tough list. But then at the same time...
My choice, man. My fault.
If someone was going to do this list, it feels kind of appropriate that it be you. I don't know what that says about you or me or our relationship.
I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or...
This is all love, Raylee. Please believe it.
I'm glad to be here.
Also, thank you because of circumstances, I've been trying. You are only the second woman to do the podcast this season. I've only had 2 female guests on this whole time. And I want to get different voices on the show.
I'm trying to get people, man. I've been asking.
I love it. Is there anything you want to say before I list off these 6 movies and we start talking about them?
No, I think we just get into it.
Okay, so from the 80s we have a haunting/home invasion movie called Twice Dead. Yes, that makes sense. We'll do Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. How did they get Corey Feldman? Wow.
It's a shocker for me when I started watching. Was not expecting it.
Wow, the pedigree of that. Returning to Lake Placid for Lake Placid Legacy. When you say legacy, it makes me feel like Lake Placid is this ancient movie, which makes me feel like I'm an ancient person, because I remember seeing that in theaters. One of 2 movies that I literally purchased at the dollar store for $2, false advertising dollar store. Dead Ant, about a a rock band trying to reignite that spark that they had at a one-hit wonder in the 80s, and we'll get into it. And the other movie the other movie that I bought the same day at the dollar store, Lost in the Pacific.
Hey, I had to pay $5 to rent that movie, and you got it for $2? You're getting ripped off.
I owned it for $2. I am very sorry that you had to pay money for that. And then we'll
charged for it twice, by the way.
What?
I'm going to have to email Google Movies.
Yeah, you're going to fix that. We'll finish with the Scorpion King. I almost said the Mummy. I guess that was wishful thinking.
I mean, the cover, like, they have a theme. Like, they look all the same, so it doesn't...
Thank you.
All right.
Let's get into it. Boom.
Pressure from the world is driving me insane. Gotta find a way to escape this race. All into the fire and a God's grace. Myself
I'll protect my family any damn way I see fit.
twisted in mind.
Cut my Christendom and you're dead! Another one of your stunts! No.
Don't leave me.
Scott.
God, heal me.
Scott?
I stand.
So I have an affection for 80s horror cinema, and I think a lot of people do. Either you grew up in it, or you've just heard the reputation of the 80s, and like it's got this sort of vibe to it. So I can see someone being, romanced into this retro kind of 80s packaging that we got going on. This Twice Dead movie came in a double feature package of Corman Collections. It comes with a much better movie called The Evil, which is actually a decent but kind of dated 70s haunted house movie. And I feel like Twice Dead got thrown in there because they're just trying to make some money off of the extra property. Because, yeah, it's great that Jill Whitlow is in this movie. I had a little bit of a crush on her from Night of the Creeps. And,
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, Todd Bridges was in a sitcom from the 80s. He's in the movie, I guess, if you want 80s trivia. And it does, I guess, jump a lot of different sort of genre beats. It's a possession movie, it's a haunting movie, it's a home invasion movie, but none of the movies are working at any point. And
They also, like, the gang, like, outside, like, the punk rock gang, like, theme of the 80s that was so popular.
yeah, this
like
was...
the cool kids or the bad guys or the rebels or whatever you wanted to call them.
But I think you have to be careful how you do it. Sometimes they pull it off. The original Return of the Living Dead, all of the punks are like way over the top and like easily identifiable, but we get it. We recognize them, and we know that they're sort of in their costumes, in their world, and we kind of accept and in our weird way believe them. In a way that I just can't with this group. Like, their posturing is so ridiculous that it should be hilarious, but it's not, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just very, like, it's almost cliche to the, like, the bad. Like, you can't even figure the character out because, like, you don't know even what they're playing.
No.
They're not even doing their role well.
What are you going for? And I don't think the movie knows. And it takes an awful long time to start to cook. And even when it minimally does, there's still, like, the last half an hour of the movie, and that just wasn't worth the wait. But
It starts out pretty strong. Like, this was one that kind of, like, got me into it pretty, like, the premise of it, as it's setting out, like, young family moving across the country to move into this relative's house, like, it's a good premise. Like, it's...
yeah, and
it's like a big Beetlejuice, or, like, the new Ghostbusters movie has, like, that's the thing.
And
it's good.
There's a history to the house. We see a backstory which cuts between this guy dancing with a woman and then dancing with a doll and then dancing with a woman and then dancing with a doll, and we're not sure which reality we're supposed to accept. He kills the woman doll, and himself, and such as the origin story of the house that they're inheriting. But it's been sitting empty for a while, although hilariously the room where the tragedy takes place in hasn't changed at all in 50 years. But these hooligans, this gang of what-have-yous, have sort of been staked their territory there. And when the new family moves into the house, which they rightfully own, they take it very personally. And the one gang member who is just insufferable...
The leader?
Yeah.
Guy?
Becomes fixated on Jill Whitlow, the older sister
girl.
from the family. There's lots of weird shit going on too. Apparently the leads, the brother and sister, were in a relationship as the movie was happening, and there is a vibe between them, I think probably because of that makes it feel weird.
Their relationship was very strange.
And like, that's just to add to it. And the movie is full of things, like, if I describe them, that you might find interesting. Like, okay, so there's sort of a protective haunted force in the house. There's a competition and this weird home invasion, and the gang has staked their territory, but the family is going to fight for their home. And it includes a scene where people are having sex and getting electrocuted, and dealing all of this 80s stuff that you sound like, yeah, Larry, this sounds like a goofy, bad 80s movie that I could really watch. But I can't articulate how slow and how, like, uneventful the movie feels. For all of the stuff in it, it feels like it's knee-deep in mud at all times.
To me, it just felt really disjointed. Like, it couldn't pick a lane. Like, just like, because the other thing with the origin story is there's a lot of, like, really cool, like, cinematography of, like, old school movie Hollywood, right? Like, old Hollywood. And, like, that was really cool. Like, they could have done a lot with that, but then it kind of just, like, stopped half. Like, it's like, and I just felt it was just, like, very disjointed, and I was like, who, like, in your mind, who is the villain of this movie? And if you don't know, like, that's kind of a problem.
I guess, like, for me it would be...
Gang?
Yeah, the gang is for me the major adversary.
But at the start, it leaded, like, to me, I originally felt like it was going to be the ghost killing like, you know? And so then it, like, kind of jumped to the gang, and I was just like, what? Now you're friends with the ghost? I don't know.
The ghost kind of, like, holds back its presence for a very long time. It seems to allow a lot of trespassing and a lot of, like, defilement of the house. It's when the biker dude is destroying the doll, the weird-looking sex doll thing, that the ghost finally seems to take some initiative. But, again, why is he so bent on destroying this one particular doll in the house? Why is he driving his motorcycle around in the house? And, I don't know.
Why is he never not on his motorcycle?
Yeah.
Like, let's just live at that. Like, is there a scene where you see him where he's not on his motorcycle?
The scene where he dies.
Like,
Yeah.
Fair. Okay, good point. Touche.
But that was his defining characteristic. He was the big guy on the motorbike, right? And they all had that. My favorite was the ponytail guy with the glasses. He's standing outside the house at midnight. And then... He said, I'll go and check the basement, and he puts his sunglasses on to go inside and explore the basement of the house. Like, more things like that might have made the movie more enjoyable to me. But it's amazing how unself-conscious it was. Like, I really feel like these gang members thought they were nailing it, and they were being really cool. Particularly the leader, who's obsessed with the Whitlow character. He is... really pouring it on as thick as he can. He's giving a performance. He really feels like Spielberg's gonna see this and my career is made by Twice Dead. And it is embarrassing. I get secondhand cringe embarrassment watching him.
Just like, oh, I'm sorry for you. This is really, really hard. And like, but also I wasn't like overly rooting for the siblings. Like, they're okay. I didn't hate them. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. But I was just like, something happens. Like, I'm not going to lose any sleep over you two. Like, they weren't great characters.
No. And they were...
You know?
There's something so movie about it, which sounds ridiculous, but of course it's a movie, Larry. But how do you deal with a bunch of gangs members threatening to invade your house and sexually assault and rape you. Well, with some Home Alone hijinks and some special effects makeup, you trick them into thinking the house is killing them, and they run away, and problem solved, right? Like, this whole centerpiece sequence of the movie is, like, ridiculous. It should have been played for comedy, because I don't know how else to handle it.
But also, like, if they've been squatting those punks in your house, like, why is the ghost just getting mad about it now?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think he would have taken care of business, like, sooner?
And they didn't mess with
Maybe
his
he
room.
was defending the Whitlow character?
Again,
A question mark?
I wish I had answers, and I wish I believed that the movie had answers. And maybe if it had just picked one movie, maybe if it had just been the Haunting movie, or it had just been the Home Alone hijinks movie, or it had just been the Home Invasion movie, or it had just been the Ghostly Revenge movie, if it had picked one of those and did it well, instead of doing all of them poorly. But it's weird, because look at all the stuff we're talking about. All of this stuff is happening, and yet the movie is less than 90 minutes long, and it feels...
I was going to say, all of the movies on the list today are like 10 minutes, 1 hour, 20 minutes. Like, on the dot.
But they
not very long.
feel so much longer. You can watch
This
Twice
one
Dead
felt
for
really
free on YouTube, and you will feel your life dripping by as you watch.
Well, and I found this was one where I kept having to, like, go back and be like, what happened? I'm hard. Like, I was, like, losing my train of thought and being like, oh, right, I'm watching a movie here. Okay. And I'd have to, like, go back and, like, try and figure it out. And I don't know. I really liked when it was just, like, the creepy ghost in the mirror at the beginning with the haunted family. Like, that, I think, would have been enough of a movie. But then, to me, it just felt really disjointed, and, like, I was having a hard time. Like, I don't even know who I care about right now.
Or why we should care about it. And a lot of these movies are going to have this stinger, quote, gotcha ending. And this is probably my least favorite. Because when the ghost wolfs out and sort of starts killing the bad guys, we see his image in the mirror, and he screams and the mirror pops. Cool 80s special effects, sort of a rock video special effect, but whatever. And then at the end of the film, when everyone's been killed and dealt with, and it's all happily ever after, the mirror has somehow come back to place, and one of the gangster ghosts appears in the mirror, starts laughing, and the mirror explodes again, and credits. We'll never sleep again. It's like, we know the movie's... Yeah, we know the movie was bad, but we'll leave them with such a strong point here that maybe that will be the thing that they take away. Not that they were bored for 80 minutes, but that they were irritated for 1 second.
I will say, I did like the death by electrocution. If I'm gonna find a strength in this movie,
Right?
the electrocution sex scene death, pretty cool. Didn't mind it.
But
Thought it was okay.
It seemed like it should have been in a different movie. Like, nothing like that had happened anywhere in between. Also, the male actor in that movie, Raymond Cruz, he has been around forever. He is one of the vintage of that guy. I was like, the thing that I jumped to was Breaking Bad. I remember seeing him in like the first season of Breaking Bad, but like, he has been around forever, and including that's 1988, deservedly forgotten 80s horror movie. And I think that's what some people might get out of this movie, maybe. If you grew up in the 80s and if you have that kind of nostalgia memory trip, maybe this will work for you. But there are better bad 80s horror movies to watch than this. Like, there just are. It doesn't bring enough crazy to the table. Like that scene, that sex scene / electrocution is the scene like that in the movie.
But you're right. It didn't deserve. It wasn't a good. It didn't fit the rest of the ones in that movie. It should have been somewhere else. You're right.
It was the most violent and sexual scene in the entire movie. Really. And not that I'm against that, but I mean,
the only time we see boobs too. Which is also, for an 80s horror movie, not common.
It's just a mistake, Raylee. It's just a mistake.
But also, like, trying to figure out, are they in high school or college? Like, they were a weird age in undescript. Like, I could not figure out. And then the parents left.
I think they're just past high school age because they're left to be independent a lot. But the problem is, in the 80s, they always cast like 25-year-olds as high school students.
Yeah.
So our brain is programmed. Sorry?
Usually you could tell, like, oh, they're going to high school, or, oh, they're going to
Right.
college. Like, this one I was like, because she seemed really, like, young and naive, like, at the beginning, when it's just the ghost haunting them, and she's getting scared.
Yeah.
And she's like, please stop scaring me, I'm getting scared, and I can't sleep. Like, she seemed really young.
Right.
Like, high school. But then the brother, I don't know, but again, their relationship was strange.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's the Jill Whitlow vibe. She does have a little girl vibe about her, but she's an adult.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's a messy movie.
Always. She was born an adult. She's always been an adult. She will never be anything else.
But you know how, I don't want to be mean, you know how some women still have a child voice to them to a certain degree? They have that weird music to their voice or that little extra high pitch to them. It's a thing that some people have, and I think Jill Whitlow.
Amy, what's her name?
Right. Yeah, it's exactly. I think Jill Whitlow has a percentage of that. Anyway, I've run out of things to say about Twice Dead. It's.
I'm glad it was free.
Yeah. I'm glad you didn't have to pay $5.
This one?
You want the puppets, you need the formula. You want the formula, you need too long.
That's it. They're gonna wake up the toys on Christmas.
With innocent blood I summon thee!
Well, I guess you believe me now, don't you?
I want those puppets.
Merry Christmas, Raylee.
I know, it's like, it's a good time of year. Birds are coming back. Christmas bells are ringing.
Of all the things that I was expecting to see in Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, I did not realize that it was a Christmas-themed horror movie. On top of being...
Could have put it on, like, a list with Gremlins or something.
That's right. But on top of being this crossover, plastic evil battle, it's set at Christmas time. And on top of that, they were able to secure Corey Feldman in the lead.
Like, fantastic in the lead. Like, can I just say, I am not great at placing actors, and I am often I know this person, but I always have to pause and, go on, that's just how my brain works. And I was like, I recognized him. I didn't even have the IMDb in, and he was just, so good at being him in that movie. Like, he really leaned into this role.
I'm going to argue that he's not super good in the movie, but
I think that's the point, though. That's what I mean. I think he just knows what it is.
He is Corey Feldman in the movie, and what that is the real, I think, question, and maybe the more interesting conversation that we can get into. The problem is, we were just talking about Twice Dead, how the brother-sister relationship is super strange. In this case, he's supposed to have this father-daughter relationship, and he's supposed to be playing someone significantly older than he is. So they seem to be the same age, more or less, but playing this father-daughter thing, which might have been kind of funny if they maybe winkingly acknowledged it or did something with that, but no, they just ask us to accept it, and we never can. And I understand that Corey Feldman is this entity, right? Well, let's start here. What would you say is Corey Feldman's best performance? I mean, I would go to Stand By Me, probably.
That's the first one that comes to mind. And then there was the one, now I can't even remember the name, but the Corey movies in the late 80s.
There was License to Drive was one of them, and
yeah,
Something a Dream.
One with a car, but the fact that I can't even remember the name is maybe telling about the movie.
I think that the one that was popularized him was The Lost Boys, where he was
yeah.
Edgar Frog and he talked like this. And that was the one that he always gets talked to about. That was one everyone loved. That was sort of the birth of the Coreys. So he locked in.
He wasn't the standout character in that show to me. Like, when I think of that movie, he's not the character I think about.
My point is that he has been Edgar Frog in every fucking movie he's been in since The Lost Boys. This movie included, down to the weird delivery like this. And I know that he knows he's in a cheesy B movie, and I know he thinks like he's leaning into it, but I don't know, for me, if it's in a way that's helping the movie. I saw a video about a guy doing a review of his concert, and he started the review saying like he was kind of hyped to go and like just enjoy the sort of cheesiness of it, but very quickly into the concert it became impossible because Corey Feldman was definitely not in on the joke. Like, he seems to really believe he's killing it when he's on stage. And if the crowd isn't reacting, it's someone else's fault. There's a sound issue, right? Like, and it was hard
it's
for me.
Your fault, not his.
Yeah, and it was hard for me not to see that here. I'm Corey Feldman, so of course I'm amazing, right? But
yeah,
I
I'm just even like looking back at some of his like at IMDb and like, oh, the Goonies. He's in the Goonies.
Yep. Classic 80s fare.
But
and,
again,
you know, he was in Friday the 13th Part 4. You know, like, I'm sounding really mean about it, but you can't have him centering your movie and not, you know, have that be the movie in some way or the other. In a weird way, he's more the star of the movie than either demonic toys or the puppets, the evil puppets, right? Sorry, I got
and there really isn't anyone that stood out to me as like name worthy in this movie. Like, he kind of was really the only name.
Vanessa Angel had a...
You would know better.
Yeah, Vanessa Angel, who's the big bad, the woman who's summoned the demon and doing the virgin sacrificing and roping in the demonic toys, which starts the battle. She was in Kingpin, that Woody Harrelson, you know...
Yeah.
And I think she hosted on MTV and did some like TV in America, but... Yeah, she's clearly past her prime, and you can see on her face that this is bad for her career, and she knows it's bad for her career, but bitches gotta eat.
She's sacrificing virgins to the demonic toy.
That's right.
Come on.
Say what I will about Corey Feldman, I don't think he's embarrassed to be there, and I don't think he's necessarily phoning it in. He's just giving a Corey Feldman performance. But he's not this old guy. He's not credible as a parent or as a scientist. He is Corey Feldman. So we got to focus on the dolls and the Puppet Master or whatever. And I'm not super familiar with the Puppet Master series. I think I've seen the first 2 or 3, but they're so long ago that they're all one globulous thing in my head. I'm going to correct this next season on Rank and Review. Lee and I are going to spend 2 episodes doing all 12 Puppet Master movies, with the exception of this one, which is not considered canon. It was a licensed product of Sci-Fi. They got the name from Full Moon Features to make this movie. So a lot of people debate whether or not it's canon. Some people hate this movie. Some people love this movie. Blah, 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 blah. What does Raylee feel?
The original all from the 90s?
I believe so, yeah. I think the 12 ones were more recent. Like the 11th and 12th were like maybe 5 or 10 years ago, but they started...
Okay.
They started in the 90s. Yeah. What did you think?
I mean, what did I think? I liked the Corey Feldman character because I wasn't expecting to see anyone I knew.
Right.
So surprising to me. I kind of liked the Christmas vibe. Thought it was trying to spread some cheer. It kind of like had that vibe of like, yeah, like really just bad B-movie Christmas, like horror movie, you know, like it was setting the tone for that.
So
it was funny, like I laughed a lot. I think this is probably one on the list that I laughed at the most. I was just like, oh, that's so bad. Like,
well,
this one and Dead End, I think, were the two where I was just like, oh, what? Like, what the fuck?
What is happening?
That was good.
Well, sometimes having a what the fuck moment can be genuinely helpful for your movie, and I will take that. But it's interesting how much we've talked about the movie and how little we've talked about the demonic toys or the puppets. There was a couple of puppets, apparently, that were missing. I don't know if they didn't have the rights for those puppets or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But there's one that I remember. One of the few things I remember, there's a female puppet that spits leeches out of her mouth. She was nowhere to be found in this movie. And there's a...
So those are from, like, the original ones that you're saying, like, from that you're going to be reviewing?
Yeah, and so some of them were missing. Maybe they were killed off in the series beforehand. Like maybe there's a reason for it. I'm not aware of it, but
you'll find out.
I will find out.
Stay tuned.
But the plot, such as it is, Corey Feldman and his daughter are they're descendants of Toulon, the guy who made these puppets, and they're trying to bring them back to life. And after lots and lots of work, they have found success. And it seems, at least in this phase of it, that the puppets are more benign. They're not necessarily evil, they're just beholden to whoever owns them, I guess. So if their leader's just an eccentric weirdo like Corey Feldman, then they're just kind of eccentric and weird. And if their leader's evil, then they do evil biddings. I'm filling in a lot of holes here.
Kind of did the bidding of their owner, or their master, right?
The whole time he's done this, though, he's being spied upon by this evil woman who runs this toy company and has involved the demonic toys. And, well, they kind of borrow plot points from, believe it or not, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Deep Cut. Are you familiar with that movie?
Not offhand.
Well, quick recap of that movie. They were making a Halloween movie without Michael Myers. For some reason, they thought that would be a good idea. And this evil warlock dude uses magic involving the Stonehenge to make Halloween masks to sell to kids, to wear on Halloween night, and the masks will kill the kids, and then somehow victory. In her version, there's going to be a demonic toy under every tree. Christmas morning, when the kids open their presents, they get killed, and victory.
And they're all going to come to life at the same time or something. Like, there's they're like programmed so that everyone will open their toys. It's all going to happen like simultaneously. Yeah, was my understanding.
So Feldman's been wronged by this evil corporate company, and he's gonna, he and his puppets are gonna have to foil these plans and save Christmas. It sounds, again, much like Twice when you just say it out loud, like it could be goofy and silly and fun. But
was it?
I don't know. I watched it pretty stoically. I just sort of stared at it. I guess it didn't go down as hard as some of the other ones did, and I was kind of amused by some of the simplistic puppet effects. I have no idea about the demonic toys characters. There's a baby guy that has this weird New York accent or something, and I just had to roll with the punches, and I chose to. But I was meeting this movie halfway. I was actively trying to like it, and I don't think most people would give it that much rope.
Well, and I was just trying to think of too, what's the scene that stands out to me? If I'm trying to be oh, and this happens in the movie. I'm there's the thing where they put the virgin in and they bloodlet whatever, the machine that presses her. I can't think of the name right now.
Right.
I remember that scene. The puppet motorboated the evil girl. That happened.
That was a thing that happened in this movie.
What else? And then the one thing that kept bothering me, I was are there no other cops on duty? Why is she the only cop in the whole movie? She works for 24 hours straight. She's always on shift.
Why does she
all the time on Christmas Eve?
What was it about the Corey Feldman character that she connected to? In earnest.
And then invites her to Christmas, invites him and the weird daughter to Christmas dinner.
But, in the end...
I wouldn't do that.
In the end, they were all better people, and they found a new family, and it was all going to work out, and, I don't know about this movie, really.
The one thing, too, is when they had... This is the one part where they had to, stop it, and, what just happened? What the fuck? Was when, she was video... so the toys come to life, and he's in his shop, and at this point, no evil is happening. He's, making the toys, and he's happy because he's done the thing. And then she's watching him, but it felt like Mystery Science Theater. It had that, zoom in effect of, the way Mystery Science Theater used to do it. So it kind of, caught my attention or whatever. And I was how is she has she guys been watching him for like his whole like when?
How
How
long?
does this camera get in here? What's happening?
For how long? I guess women are just obsessed with Corey Feldman. That's my takeaway from this movie.
I mean, I think he would think that.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it.
Like, that was it.
I also have this feeling like the doll, or the demonic toys, pardon me, are maybe a more silly, overtly comic universe, and that the Puppet Master is more a straight horror, and like one had to win, and I guess the comedy won. But I'm also really kind of reticent about the idea of facing 12 Puppet Master movies if none of them have any sense of humor at all. So, ooh, I'm a little bit leery.
It's also like, and like, this was done in 2004, and I was really surprised at just how crappy the puppet animation was. Like, boy, like, for the time, and it must not had a terrible budget. Like, not Corey Feldman, like, not the worst. So I'm wondering if that's just, like, because they of the rights of the movie, like, it was trying to stay in the world of the movies, or, like, why the animation was so crappy around the toys. Like, I did like the Terminator, to be fair. Terminator moment.
Right. The reference was...
That was good.
Yeah.
Really liked that part.
Well, I think maybe the fan backlash is partly because since it was licensed out to another entity, maybe just they didn't love the property quite as much, and that was felt. I don't know that to be the case because I don't have a good basis of comparison. But I'm hoping that this is an outlier, and it sounds like, from what I've looked around on the internet, that it is. But it's not getting me super excited for the Puppet Master franchise. And this is all Lee Beckman's fault, by the way. So give him shit for me.
Shout out Lee! I was going to say, maybe if you had watched this one first, would you have agreed to doing the other?
That's right. And I feel I'm in a weird position. Like, very few people would have seen this movie and none of the other ones. Like, it's one of...
I haven't seen any of the other ones.
Yeah, but we're in this weirdly unique position. Because I feel like either you've seen all of them or you've seen none of them is kind of the fan base of these movies. And until recently, I've seen none of them. So this is my...
I would have never had any desire.
Right.
Except it was on this list. Like, it was one that I was like, oh, it's on the list, so I will watch it. But like,
and tell me your heart didn't jump just a little bit when you saw Corey Feldman's name.
That jumped a long time ago. That ship has sailed, my friend.
Good enough.
There's like 28 different sites in the world that have been blacked out. Places people aren't supposed to know too much about.
Well, somebody went through a hell of a lot of trouble to make this look like ground zero.
What makes tracks like that?
Oh, a bear doesn't have feet that big. Not too far from here. So what is it then?
How the hell would I know?
We need to get out of here.
Come on, you son of a bitch!
I need you to trust me.
So Lake Placid Legacy has something in common with Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys in that it was produced for the Sci-Fi Channel. They licensed the name Lake Placid, and that's where a lot of these bad Lake Placid sequels came from. Lee and I talked about Lake Placid versus Anaconda, and this was the same thing. And as much as it is another sci-fi, branded product, I think that they have recognized that they pushed the cheese of the Lake Placid brand way farther than it could possibly sustain. They were pushing it into Sharknado territory. And as goofy as Lake Placid was, it was never that ridiculous, at least in its initial conceit. And what I feel in Lake Placid Legacy is them attempting to go back to the monster movie roots. Like, originally it was a monster movie with a sense of humor, and it eventually just became ridiculous B-movie stupidity, right? So
in like the creature movie genre, like the really bad creature movies.
Yeah, closer to Sand Sharks than to, something, quote, like a real monster movie. This movie is trying to be a real creature feature. And they shot it in South Africa, and that becomes increasingly obvious when you see the mountainous terrain in the background, that this is not Maine. It clearly is not shot anywhere near to the original place where it is. But again, a low-budget movie, I understand they shoot it there for a reason. They have a production team in standing there, and they can just produce the work. And I do believe that the director is trying, and I do believe he's being tactical. He knows that the CGI gator isn't great. And he is, instead of doing the classic stupid Sci-Fi Channel thing where they show it right away and it looks terrible right away and your hope for the movie dies right away, he actually... Like Sharknado.
Or Sharktopus.
He tries to spend time with the characters, build dread, build anticipation for the creature. And I don't think he's entirely unsuccessful. The problem is that the payoff just can't deliver. He knows that it can't deliver, and he's trying so hard to make it deliver that I actually respect and am cheering for him. It's really hard to give the movie a passing grade, but it is the movie on the list that I am my heart goes out to the most. Like, the components for a watchable creature feature are all here. And if the special effects were just 20% better, this movie works.
And I would argue the acting.
At times. Depends on the character. There's one character in particular, the guy who's always, we gotta get out of here, everything's stupid, blah, blah, blah. I hated him so much that it wasn't this isn't, yay, the character's dead because it's a payoff for the movie. I didn't like the character, I didn't like the performance, I didn't like the execution. Everything about that didn't work. Too bad.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the setup was really good. The premise of what got them to the site that they're at, the eco-terrorists, they're trying to take down big corp anti-cruelty places or whatever. The sister, the two, no, we can't do this. He likes you. It's all there. All of those pieces. I agree with you. I think part of it is how much of this budget did he spend on lighting, because it's so dark. And but I think that was very intentional because, like you said, the graphics are so crappy that if you can just hide them in dark and shadow, it'll hopefully build suspense.
Yeah. But it's not Asylum or Trauma where they're look at how bad our movie is. They're really trying, and I fucking respect it.
At no point did I think these people thought they were trying to be funny.
That's right.
No one in this movie was trying to be funny.
No.
In my opinion.
And there might have been a few lines that were kind of funny, a few character beats, but they were taking it seriously. And no one was whatever. They were trying to make a really decent Lake Placid movie. They just didn't have all of the tools to quite close the deal. But yeah, there are some solid moments, and usually when it's a movie about what is the word, influencers? I don't know why it rubs me the wrong way. I feel maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the whole internet influencer personality thing is here to stay. But I feel this is a period where we're all obsessed with it, and that period is going to pass. And then when we see influencers in movies in the future, it'll be dating it to this time when we gave a fuck about YouTube influencers and shit like this, right? But in this movie, I think you're right. I get this sort of mini Greenpeace vibe, and that they're so up their own ass that there's competition within the groups of, who's going to crack what story. They're not altruistic at all. There's real...
Well, it's very anti-establishment, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get I'm going to take down more corporations than you're going to take
That's
down,
right.
you know?
But again,
And
it's
I like
more about
that.
their ego than it is about this great cause, which gives them more personality in a way, right? And I don't know. Usually that tact kind of wears me out, but in this movie, it didn't. I would say the first half of the movie mostly works. I think that the sisters' dialogue is a little creaky, and when they choose to air their emotional laundry in the midst of all the chaos that's happening, doesn't always read credible, but I would say that is a true thing that happens in a lot of creature features. 2 of our friends have just been killed. We finally got away from the immediate threat. We're here together. Now let's talk about that time you kissed my boyfriend. No, fuck off. There's bigger fish to fry right now, right? Like, and I did feel...
Literally bigger fish in the water.
That's right. Joe Pantoliano shows up in this movie to cash a paycheck. Probably a free trip to Africa, too, right? And I think he's fine. I've seen him do better in movies, but what is he asked to do? He's held hostage, and then he talks his way out of the chair. He disappears from the group, and then is killed by an alligator. I bet you they shot all of his stuff in 2 days max.
Right.
But a lot of times you get a named celebrity in a sci-fi movie and you can see the deadness behind their eyes, right? Like I was talking about Vanessa Angel in the Puppet Master movie. You could sort of see on her face that she knew this was not a good thing for her. I feel like you guys going to pay me to be in Lake Placid? I'm going to show up for you.
Oh, I can do this. I can be a warm body.
Yeah. Or, you know, he could have been way too big and wiped everyone else off of the screen. It'd been one of those guys, too, right? He was to the task. But did it need to be Joe Pantoliano? No, it could have been anyone. And I don't think he was the name that was going to bring people to the movie. That's where they run into problems because, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, the star of your Lake Placid movie is going to be the crocodile, right? And that is where whenever we get a good, clean look at the crocodile, all of the credible work starts to fall apart. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, so you said the first half. So, like, where do you think the turning point of, like, starts to fall apart for you is?
I think once...
Like, where was it where you were like, it has all the pieces and then it kind of stopped?
Once they get locked in the bunker and it becomes just the Book of Shadows and it's just dark room after dark room, the journey part of the movie has ended and we've gotten to the point where we need to start seeing the monster. And they're resistant to it, so things start to get a little bit repetitive and dark and cyclical. And you're waiting for the monster, and then the monster doesn't necessarily always pay off. The POV shots or the quick glimpses will sometimes do the job, but when it's actively on screen pursuing someone, it's a cartoon. It just is.
Yeah, like, for me, it was like when they get there, and then the Penny, I think her name is, the, like, not tour guide, that's not the right word, ranger,
right.
Like, whoever. I thought her character did exactly what it needed to do, of, like, what was it in there's snakes out there this big, I'm going back to LA, like, that was the role, like, you know, and so, like, I really liked it, and the guy, I think it was, right? That death?
The which guy? Sorry, say that again?
Buddy, they found Dane's buddy dead.
That's right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like, to me, that was, like, everything up until they found that buddy was good. And they found his camera, and they found, like, then I was like,
yeah.
Okay. Like, I didn't love the relationship between the girl and the main guy who was from Schitt's Creek, which I really liked.
Right. I was obsessed with his beard.
The rivalry between the two, like, alpha dudes of the group were, like, yeah, it was believable. Like, it was good, but again, did I care which one took down the island? Not really. Like, you know? But up until that point of them finding the camera and the dead body, like, I was like, it's coming. It's gonna happen. This is gonna be great.
Well, I mean, you take little bits of points away, but with this type of movie, you know, I give them a little bit of graces. one thing that's becoming a increased pet peeve of mine is characters breaking their legs and walking on it, which definitely happens here. Like, just say, like, she smashed her knee really hard. Because when you smash your knee really hard, even if it isn't broken, it's going to hobble you for a day or two at least. Like, don't say that the leg is broken and then show up this person running and hobbling about, because it's not credible to me. Unfortunately.
Have you ever broken a leg?
I've never broken a leg. No, I haven't had the experience. Okay. But I've seen so many movies where they...
I've broken an ankle.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't stand up.
Right.
And I refused to go into the ambulance because I needed to go to work the next day. Like, in my head, like, I can't go to the ER. Like, I gotta have a teacher. I can't make some plans right now. And the ambulance driver literally said to me, all right, I will just let you go, and if you can walk into the house, like, we won't take you to the ER. And I just crumpled. I mean, he caught me. It was all safe, but you cannot walk on that shit.
And so many more, I've just bumped into a lot of them lately where that keeps happening, and it's, like, pissing me off. It's just a basic thing, too, and it's such a fixable thing. Don't show us the leg with the bone sticking out of the just like, oh my god, my leg, it hurts so much, and then we can, like,
roll your ankle. That's fine.
Yeah, it's such a clumsy, wasteful thing. Don't do that. But there was some good ways to get around the not seeing the creature for as long as they did. When that woman broke her leg got kind of tied up in the rope, and this boat was hauling out and drags her into the water. But I love the way the boat just got folded in half. We didn't see the creature. We just assumed it was beneath the boat. And the boat just disappeared into the water with the guy. And I was like, that was actually pretty, like, shit for everybody else. Like, they were in a bad situation. Now they're in a worse situation. And now they're stranded on this island. And something huge just ate the boat.
Just, like, took it down with not a second glance.
Yeah. And I still had hope for the movie. And what I'm saying is, I respect the movie, but I can't honestly give it a passing grade. Everybody is trying. I think that sci-fi got their money's worth, but I think to pull this off adequately, you needed the monster to be there. Everything is pretty much there, except for the monster, I say with no joy.
Yeah, and, like, I guess if we're going with because so far we've had the fake ending of Place Dead.
Yeah.
And then in Puppet Master, they have the guy, the little dog, going, Crappy New Year. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, they have the, like, crocodile, like, peeking its eyes as the two sisters, like, swim. Like, okay, this hasn't actually ended.
Yeah. But again,
I was like,
do we care of the fate of those two sisters?
And, like, I kind of wanted there to be, like, one last, like, rumble in the water with the crocodile. They were getting away, and they just, like, swam away. I'm like, he's just gonna watch you? He's not gonna watch you swim away.
No.
He's gonna come get you.
No, this dun-dun-dun stinger ending is just how apparently you end a no-budget thriller. That's just... We're gonna run into it again and again and again. Is there anything else you want to say about Lake Placid Legacy?
No, I mean, I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah.
Glad I watched more in the series, but it was okay. It wasn't a creature movie I wanted it to be.
It was a 2 for $10 bin at Walmart purchase, and it distracted me, but it just isn't what I wanted it to be. That's unfortunate.
Okay, sure, yeah, whatever. We need to be current. What we need is a hard rockin' hit, man.
Look at all these new bands now. They don't have pyrotechnics. They don't have sparks flying on the stage. It's all tame. We need to go to Coachella and rock.
Yes. And I agree 100%. By the way, it's called No-Cella. No, I couldn't get us into Coachella.
We're gonna write a fucking killer song. You got it?
I think this is the stuff that inspired Kurt Cobain.
This is the most powerful peyote you and your friend will ever take.
Feeling anything?
I'm good.
We're on a spiritual quest here. We are this close to getting another shot. You gotta focus if it kills you.
There are risks. You as much as hurt one fly will be cursed until the next sundown.
So, on the DVD cover of Dead Ant, somebody credited from Movie Pilot has the audacity to say Spinal Tap meets Tremors. Fuck you. Fuck you. On behalf of film critics everywhere, both valid and childish, fuck you. You do not name drop Spinal Tap and Tremors in the same breath as Dead Ant. You do not do it, sir.
Like blasphemy.
I don't know what to say about Dead Ant. First of all, I mean, in the how did they get Tom Arnold and Jake Busey? But to me, Tom Arnold and Jake...
Sean Astin.
Well, that's what I was going to say. To me, Tom Arnold and Jake Busey being in this movie makes absolute sense. Tom Arnold has no business being fucking famous, as far as I'm concerned. He sucked so long. For like the first 10 years of his career, he didn't do one good performance. And finally, just from being on enough sets for long enough, he became comfortable on camera. But why the fuck does everybody give this asshole a pass? Like, he is terrible. He's really trying in this movie. You can tell he's blown out his voice from screaming so much. He plays the manager of this 80s band that's trying to somehow stay relevant in the 20 teens. But yes, Tom Arnold, Jake Busey. Jake Busey, your dad is Gary Busey. You get to have a B-level celebrity status just for that. Your life could not have been easy having a parent as crazy as Gary Busey. So, fine. And you don't necessarily suck in the movie. This is kind of where you're going to end up. Sean Astin does not need this movie. Sean Astin was in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Sean Astin has been working since he was a child. He's on some terrible Disney TV show that my kids watch, which is like a sitcom type of thing that he doesn't need the money. And this role isn't something that's, oh, this would be so much fun. Like, in earnest, what is he doing in this movie?
Also in The Goonies, second time that movie has been referenced today.
I think the moral of this story is instead of watching these movies, rewatch The Goonies.
Right.
I'm also thinking that at some point this movie lost a producer or lost some money because there is a schizophrenic nature to the movie. Especially the ending, it feels like they didn't have the money to do the concert finale with the crowd and the ants and the explosions, so they just did the best that they could and then ended it without even really resolving all of the character beats. Is the band going to stay together? Are they going to, get their sex? None of this is really answered, and they spend a lot of time on it. And even more bizarrely...
Did side boob become the next big hit?
Yeah, exactly, side boob. And at the beginning of the movie, there is this crazy, inexplicable scene of this woman. She takes this peyote, which is going to be the instigating thing of the bringing the monsters about, and she gets chased by a giant ant, and she starts throwing her clothes at this giant ant that's chasing her, to the point where it doesn't make any sense. I don't know how she's removing her clothes while running at full speed, and it's this sudden, like, full-on naked woman at the very beginning of this movie with it, like, so I'm thinking, well, this is the type of movie this is. This is going to be this exploitation romp.
Crazy intro.
Right? There is nothing like that.
It's a crazy intro.
Yeah, but there's nothing like that anywhere else in the movie. Like, that is the one sequence of, like, over-the-top nudity. There's some violence in the movie, but, like, that probably secured the movie an R rating. And it really felt like it was added separately. It felt different than the rest of the movie somehow. And that's what I feel like. I feel like there was this character study of this washed up band and how pathetic they were and how they didn't realize that they were pathetic, and they're going to do this peyote trip to get inspired and somehow revitalize their career. And it was this, like, pathetic comedy about over-the-hill rock stars, hence the reference to Spinal Tap. The trick is that the drugs...
Tom Arnold.
Yeah. The drugs that they've taken have some quality where if you disrespect nature, nature's going to come and kick your ass. So, does it make sense? No, because not everybody defiled nature, and everybody at that concert got attacked by these ants. So, the premise is flawed, but it's a weird movie because every now and then there's a scene that works. And you go, oh, I see what's going to happen here. I see what you're going for. Oh, okay. And then it stops working, and then you get really irritated. And then all of a sudden, a scene works, and you see what the movie could have been. And it's a really frustrating, bizarre movie. And I had never heard of it. It just showed up at the dollar store. And, like, I don't have my ear to the ground to the same degree that I used to, but as far as, like, a monster horror movie with any kind of name cast, it feels like I should have heard of this movie, at least. It feels like...
Yeah, me too. This is like something that should have been on my radar.
Yeah, even if just to make fun of the fact, oh, that looks terrible, right? Like, I basically bought this movie as a joke on myself, because, like, what the $2? Dead Ant? Rock band? Tom, what the fuck?
Forever?
It's not that I was expecting it to be good, and it's not even that it's terrible, but the thing that makes it suck is that you could see how, with minimal effort, this could be a really solid movie. And it just isn't. It just isn't. And it's not even about the weak cast. I think Sean Astin, I don't know why he's in the movie, and I don't know why he's wearing that ridiculous wig, but he's fine. He does the job. I think Jake Busey acts in the movie. I think Tom Arnold is earnestly trying, but he knows it's Dead Ant and that this is a bad movie. But you can actually hear in his throat, like, he's been screaming these lines for so long that he's starting to lose his voice, which tells me he was committed. And again, nobody watched this movie, and I get it. Where does Raylee land?
And let's not forget her face from the L Word, bisexual icon Alice, Leisha.
Oh,
Haley,
I didn't watch the
girl
L
in the
Word.
band.
I'm sorry.
Icon.
That's
that actress.
Okay. It's a cultural black spot for me. I missed the L Word. I apologize.
So I had to watch it when I first came out. My girlfriend made me because I also hadn't watched it.
Right.
And she's like, well, now we need to watch every episode. And Alice, in the queer world, she is like,
Okay.
there's a lot going on with that actor. So I was pretty
She was the
impressed
drummer?
with her in it as well.
She was the drummer you're talking about?
Yeah, Leisha Haley, I think is her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girl in the band.
She's the likable member in the band, I would say.
Yeah. And kind of the one who, like, is making sense.
Yeah.
Like, easy the whole time, and I think she's the one who, like, figures out also the, like, indigenous trope in this was really hard for me, of just, like, how
The native dude,
that character was.
the native dude, and the you're not supposed to say
Short person.
short person. I don't know what the proper term. Forgive me. I was almost a person of very diminutive stature, and this native guy, and they know it's weird, and the movie knows it's weird, but they don't fully acknowledge it. But I'm gonna have to say it does ride the line between uncomfortable and genuinely funny. That scene where they slowly clasped hands, I actually laughed out loud.
They were great. Like, the two actors who played it were, like, really leaning into it, but there was parts of me that was like, as a white person, like, I don't know if I could laugh at this right now. It's making me uncomfortable.
It was knowingly ridiculous, and the movie could have maybe used more of that, but because it was its own vibe by itself, it was that one corner of the movie that had it, it drew more attention to itself, and it felt more uncomfortable than I think. I don't think it was mean-spirited, honestly. It was obviously...
No, I don't either.
It was obviously playing on stereotypes, but it was knowingly playing on stereotypes. So I will give that a pass. Yeah. But...
Yeah. I'm gonna argue a bit with you on this one. I had a lot of fun watching this movie.
Okay. Good.
Like totally unexpected. again, I was like, how did I not know about this movie? How is this movie not on my radar? How has somebody not sent me the link to this movie being like, you watch this really crappy movie, I think you would like it. Super shocked at all the actors. Like, when they came on, I was like, what is even happening? It's like a big budget actors, like, name. Like, they're not small names. Like, even Tom Arnold, like him or hate him, like,
he's been around.
Not a small name.
Yeah.
It costs money to get Tom Arnold in a movie, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Like, and again, like, the opening scene with the nudity, like, really, to me, leaned into, like, how Piranha played nudity, which was just great and awful all at the same time.
If you're gonna be exploitation, be exploitation. Like, if you try to quote justify it, or like if I feel like you're uncomfortable with it, it's gonna make me uncomfortable with it.
Totally. And I mean, like, Piranha had the scene where the piranha like burped out a penis. Like, do that. Like, that's great, you know? And the first scene of that movie made me think it was going to be more like that.
But it kind of makes a promise that the movie does not follow through with for me.
Also, I did not realize how skin crawly ants made me.
Okay.
I've never watched, like, an ant creature movie, like spiders, fish, sharks, all of the other things. Not really so much ants. And then the whole movie, my whole, like, just skin was like with Sean acid, like, terrible, graphic, like, obviously, like, crappy, but, like, the thought of him when he was, like, all eaten and they found him and he, like, bloody stumps and everything, like, it was just like, oh, my skin was just, like, not
Sean Astin's character kind of plays like the first big death of the movie, and like we spent a lot of time with him where it's one of those things where like we're thinking he's going to be a major character.
He's our like point of view, right?
For the first while. But I was I was wondering about it. I thought that the wig he was wearing looked ridiculous. Maybe it's just because I know what Sean Astin looks like, but like I wasn't buying the vibe. But I have to say, when he gets bit by the ant and then he urinates on the ant as revenge, and the ant starts talking to him and stands up and says, "Oh, you fucked up now." Again, I laughed out loud. I was like, wow, movie, I was not anticipating this. And whenever that happened, which was 3 or 4 times in the movie, what it did was it awoke me to how this movie could have been. It was never going to be Tremors or Spinal Tap, but I think it could have been, you know, the B-movie fun, ridiculous thing that it wanted to be. And instead, it just shows us glimpses of it. It's closer for me to being a good, bad movie than any of the other movies we've talked about so far. But again, I just try to think, who would I recommend this to other than you, Raylee? I just don't know who that would be.
I mean, I'm surprised someone has not sent me a link to this movie, other than if you don't know about it, then probably no one does.
I didn't mean that.
You would be the person who sends it to me.
I didn't mean that in any kind of negative context, by the way. But
no, I appreciate it. I take that as a compliment, my friend, that you would send me the link for Dead Ants.
But what happened to this movie? Like, why is it invisible? Why was it like nowhere but the dollar store? Like, I'm what a mystery.
And like the 2 young girls, like groupie characters, like they were all so great. Like, there's so much promise in this movie, and like part of me was thinking in my head the whole time, like, is this just a trip? Like, are they gonna wake up at the end and none of this is happening? And like the native dude who sent them the peyote is just like, suckers. Like, that would have been great.
That would have been an ending. And that is another big problem, like I said at the beginning of the review. It's all leading up to this big concert. And they do get to use their music to defeat the ants. Surprise, surprise, right? They gotta rock really hard.
What's the name again of the knockoff concert? It's like...
It's not Coachella, it's something else. It's Mochilla or something.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Coachella, but it's like No-chella or like something. They get the like off-brand because Tom Arnold's like fucked up as their manager. Again, totally on brand for Tom Arnold.
And again, the ridiculousness. Tom Arnold's character loses both his hands, but still claps for the band as they're playing. Again, that's ridiculous, but ridiculous from a different movie. You guys, that was an airplane moment in a movie that wasn't but the whole movie's leading up to this big concert, and they prove that they can still rock and kill the ants. And the movie has run out of money by this point. They can't deliver that third act, and it's a long journey to nowhere for that as a result, which is another thing that kind of takes it down another. I would like to be able to say, you know what? No one saw this movie, but there's enough good to it. Check it out. There's enough good to it that it becomes really frustrating to me that it didn't get that passing grade. Because I would love to be sitting here. Here's a movie starring Tom Arnold, right? Jake Busey and Sean Astin about an 80s rock band fighting ants, and it's awesome. That's what I would like to be saying, but...
And I think, okay, again, I'm going to bring in Piranha, because I drew a lot of, parallels, and I feel like what Piranha is able to accomplish... the same thing could have happened to Piranha if they didn't do it right.
That's
you know what I mean? And Piranha did it right, and because they had all the same kind of really good acts, but also I can't even think of the names right now. The girl from Adventures in Babysitting and
Elizabeth Shue. Yeah.
Thank you. And they could have been that. Dead Ant really could have been so much better.
Yeah.
It had so much going for it, and I really loved I really did enjoy it.
Sometimes I like a movie for what it wants to be, and sometimes I dislike a movie for what it failed to be, right?
Fair. But I also wrote a song called Side Boob, and I just can't get it out of my head, so I'm just going to keep referencing
Hey,
it.
who can't get behind a little side boob, Raylee?
Maybe Sean Astin had to be killed off because he had to go do Stranger Things. Wasn't that what it would have been right around that time?
Which thing, sorry?
Stranger Things?
Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But he didn't need to be there. He must have wanted to be there, which, I don't know. I guess points to Sean
Astin. And that's
Astin.
when I felt like all of those actors were like, yeah, okay, I'll do this super...
Sign me up.
Unknown Astin. Totally. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I laughed a lot in this movie. This movie was the most unexpected on the list for me. I don't want to say pleasantly surprised, because pleasantly is not quite the right word. Demon Toys, I knew what I was getting into. Lake Placid Legacy.
It is what it is.
I knew it. But Dead Ant, I really had no expectations at all. So, I enjoyed it.
Good. I'm really glad, genuinely glad.
It's a suicide.
They're hijacking the plane.
I've got enough bullets in this gun for you and everyone else on this plane.
This is our last chance. Pull out!
They're coming!
So the same visit to the dollar store in which I secured Dead Ant, I secured Lost in the Pacific, which, like Dead Ant, I had no idea existed. It fell out of the sky, right? $2.
What a find for you. That was a lucky day at the dollar store.
And again, it just says so much about who I am as a person that I would see these two things and say, yes.
I should tell my friend Raylee about these movies.
So there's been this new kind of blockbuster that's been showing its ugly face lately, where they get a bunch of different big production companies from all over the world, and they finance a movie that's meant to be spread as wide a web as possible, or a net as possible. China will like this movie, America will like this movie, India will like this movie, Mexico will like this movie. This is a movie for everyone. And it's a calculated thing. The Meg movies are this, where they have like a half, the very international cast, but with names on both sides of the sea. Maybe those people aren't recognizable to us, but it's got Jason Statham, so, you know, and anybody not impressed by that, there's a gigantic monster shark, right? So I think Lost in the Pacific was sort of like China trying to do that the other way. It was all produced there, but there's Canadian production in it, there's an American production in it, there's Chinese money in it, and they want to do a similar thing where they want to make this movie that will appeal to everyone. And in that effort to appeal to everyone, I think they've made a movie that would appeal to no one. In fact, I got this weird, uncanny thing. I was talking to you before we recorded about my anxiety over AI. This, to me, feels like if you programmed AI intelligence to produce a movie for you, what the AI intelligence would produce. The dialogue, which I think is a lot of the time being performed phonetically by actors who do not speak English, certainly not comfortably, is staggered and painful and protracted, and it deflates any performance. They're so busy just trying to make the words coming out of their mouths make sense that putting any inflection or weight or performance behind it gets lost. But then you have these other actors, Brandon Routh and some other ones who are just, you know, they speak English, so that's not the problem. So they're just trying to give a performance of a script that's built off of several other bad scripts. Whoever wrote this movie was a big fan of Under Siege, the Steven Seagal, the cook is secretly a super spy action movie.
Yeah.
And Air Force One, the Harrison Ford hostage taking on an airplane thing. And man, this is another movie. They want everything. They want to appease to everyone. So it's an action movie, it's a disaster movie, and then, surprise, surprise, it is a terrible, terrible, terrible monster movie on top of it. And that's the funniest thing. I looked up some of the promotional stuff about the movie, people being interviewed talking about the movie, trailers and stuff. Nobody mentions the cats. The cats don't show up in any of the trailers.
Well, and even when the cover that you sent me, because I couldn't find it only because it was not matching, like the one that you sent me, I couldn't find the same, and I was like, is that a bat? Is it a rat? Is it a bear? Like, what creature is that creature? It is hard to tell from the cover of the movie. Not gonna lie.
It's a mutated house cat. But what a bizarre experience it is to watch this movie. It's kind of an interesting experience to watch this movie, but it's not a movie. It's like it feels like it was made by a child or a robot or a child robot. Like it's like it's made by someone who has seen a lot of movies and kind of understands in a limited way how movies work, but is failing so brutally at everything it attempts. I never believe I'm in a real plane. I'm always distracted by the elaborate camera movements. None of the performances seem credible. Some of them not the actor's fault. Some of them are fine performances, just there's nothing credible about anything that's going on. You just stare at this movie with abject wonder. It's like a science experiment or something, or like an alien tried to make a movie to entertain us, but it didn't understand.
That's what I was thinking, like if an alien came to Earth and was like, I have created this thing for you, please watch it.
Humans make movies, and this is what a movie is. But for all of that, it does cumulatively have an interesting effect watching it, because it is just so fucking bizarre. And in the end, like I say, in their attempt to entertain everyone, it has entertained no one. No one has heard of this movie. This is the most obscure thing. And, you know, they were obviously ambitious. Somebody thought they were going to make millions of dollars with this movie. This was going to be a Meg. And it I don't know what it is, Raylee. Tell me, what is Lost in the Pacific?
I mean, this is one, okay, so similar to, like, not at all similar, but in the way that we were talking about Twice Dead,
Right.
I'm like, it cannot figure out what it is. Like, is this a home invasion movie? Is this a home alone? Like, is this a creature movie? Is this we don't. I never knew what the next scene was going to be. Like, ever in this movie was I like, you know what's gonna happen next? Like, no, because it's like, what is? They didn't even know. I don't even know if the actor knew what the next piece of the movie was gonna be until it was happening. The only thing that we knew for sure was that the most beautiful girl on the plane was the captain.
Yep.
She kept saying it in every single one of her lines that she was captain. I was like, we need to do like a bingo card, like how many she uses that.
I assume she's a bigger name on the other side of the ocean, and that's why she's being so heavily featured. But her performance is a real problem, because she's just not credible.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's because she's a bad actress. I think it's because she doesn't speak English. And she's playing a character who confidently speaks English. It's like watching someone play Shakespeare when they don't understand Shakespeare. Sounds are coming out of their mouths, but they're not backing it up.
Yeah, it was, and then like it was just bizarre, and even like every character is such a stereotypical character, but none of them play the stereotype like very well. Like the pop star doesn't behave the way I don't know. I don't know. And then the military guy who came on the plane with the girl with the son who she's doing this for to make the money so she can be with her kid. Like, okay.
Well, and again, like, I want to be mean to those actors because they don't have the same problem that a lot of the other actors are dealing with, but the script is terrible over and above that. But it was not a good watch, but a strangely fascinating watch. It was like watching all of these people struggle to keep their head above water for as long as possible. But inevitably, everybody fails, right?
And that's an interesting analogy because they do reference the Titanic several times.
That's right.
In the movie, and I was like, this isn't even good foreshadowing, you guys. Like, I don't know. Because even like playing the cello to the very end or whatever, I'm like, that's very Titanic to me, with like the band going down with the ship or whatever, right, sort of thing. And I'm like, but you're not. It's like, so you're like, it's like tip of the hat to that movie, but you're not really doing it any justice and not doing it well.
No.
So I don't know why you're doing this.
And again, no beat in the movie is really credible. Like, this whole luxury plane that's flying across the ocean, I never believe it at any point. Not in the exteriors, not in the interiors. All of these long one-er camera shots that he's going from character to character, they're so desperate. They're just like, you can see them like, this is what a big budget Hollywood movie would do. So let's do that. Yeah. And it doesn't translate well. They're trying and failing, but not in a way where I was cheering for it with like Placid Legacy, but in a way that I was fascinated at who was making these decisions and why was it that nobody on the set was able to whisper in someone's ear and just say, that is not going to work at all. Because, yeah, you're right. The two, they land the plane to refuel. They meet these monsters for the first time. These military guys get on board the plane, and so one of the monster cats get on the plane. And then they have to land on this aircraft carrier again.
That doesn't exist on any GPS or anything.
No. But every element of the plot is, they're asking you to take such a big leap and no help. They're not helping you at all. And when it comes to the special effects sequence on them landing on the aircraft carrier, for instance, it looks like a cartoon, like a bad cut scene from a video game movie. And then on top of that, Brandon Routh is having people jump out of the plane while it's still crashing. So there's no sense of speed or momentum inside the plane, and you get the feeling if someone jumped out of the plane while it was skidding across this concrete surface, they would just splat like a bug on a windshield. And they think, there's no physics to the movie, there's no credible characters or acting. The bad guys that are doing the bad things, their motivations don't really make sense. Like, nothing. It's fascinating how nothing works, but the whole movie becomes this hypnotizing thing to watch because of it. This is something that might need to be studied, like Birdemic or The Room or something, in that it's not good, but it's so bad that it's almost interesting.
Can you think of another movie that falls into this realm with it?
Well, a lot of people would say that about The Room. You know, do you know that one?
Yeah.
Because the man making that movie, although he denies it now, at the time was earnestly trying to make a melodrama and win some Oscars. And the movie was so unselfconsciously awful that people 20 years later will line up to pay money to watch it at midnight. And that similar thing is happening here. They have tried to make a movie to appeal to as many people as possible, and I feel like they've achieved the exact opposite. And that is kind of fascinating.
Yeah, it's true. I really had a hard time following it. Like, there was parts where the Chinese characters were speaking to themselves in Chinese, and I was like,
grateful.
They should have just done that and had, like, a translator on the luxury airplane so that the characters could have stayed in their Chinese, like, language, because I felt that those scenes, of all the scenes, were best. Like, those conversations between the Chinese speakers, like, to me, felt the most natural or authentic or, like, something.
Yeah. Well, and it's a different approach. With an Italian movie, if they know that it's going international, they'll shoot without sound, and then they'll just overdub whatever region.
Right.
So you get a different performance depending on what language you get it in, and that uncanny where their lips don't match their face. And as much as I complain about that, I will take that over an actor phonetically struggling through these lines that they clearly do not understand.
And that's where I was like, because I kept thinking that when they were speaking, it was dubbed. So then I was confused that their lips matched.
Yeah.
Like, it actually made my brain... It's like when you take a sip of something and you think it's root beer, but it's Sprite, and you're just like, bah!
That's
like,
wrong.
Yeah, like my brain was like, no, you should be like... Not, I don't know. It took me out of the movie every time those characters were speaking, and I had to like reprogram my brain to be like, oh no, this is what's happening.
Some of the wrong decisions I guess, like a super jet. Okay, yeah, that's credible. The hostage thing is a pretty standard action template. Brandon Routh, maybe, I'm not sure about the timing of this movie, but he had a sort of hot phase when he got cast as Superman, so maybe having him in the movie at the time was carried more weight somehow. But what I definitely don't understand is the cat monsters. The cat monsters it was clearly a misstep, and like to the point where they didn't include that in the marketing tells me that on some point someone must have recognized it, but they were locked into it. One of the money men or somebody somewhere with power said, we're doing the cats. And
that's what I'm like. So when I was trying to find the movie, I had to message you and say, "Is this the right one?"
Yep.
And none of the ones that I could find like matched the movie that you had sent me, and I was just like, pretty sure there's the creatures in this movie, but none of the synopses, none of the like cover pages, like nothing.
From the cover of the DVD, it would look like you're looking at a hostage thriller on an airplane,
which would have been a great movie.
Right.
Like, the setup in that movie, they could have made that movie with what they had.
Yeah.
If they just wouldn't have landed on the cat island.
And it had the twice dead thing of trying to do everything. Just pick a thing and do that one thing well, in trying to do 10 things and doing all 10 of those things badly.
Because even like the tycoon whose like business is failing and he's trying to... You know, this is like his last-ditch effort to try and be famous again or whatever with the reporter. Like, that all works on paper.
Even the mind-numbing, like, father-son thing that they have going on there, it didn't, like, wow me. But it worked enough. They hate each other, but at the end of the day, they love each other. Yeah, that is a familiar thing, but it works. That's why we do it again and again.
And did the classical musician have any lines?
I think he did have a few, but was he blind?
I think
he was blind.
Was the premise.
I think that's why the glasses and the weird stoicness and everybody going out of the way to help them. But the movie failed to tell us that, I think, because we both have to debate it here after both having watched the movie. Was he blind?
And now that you say it, maybe he was
right?
blind. Wait a minute.
But he seems to know when to run, and he knows to set up the cello and play it because the cats are coming. No one tells him to do that. And why do the cats get hypnotized by the music? Are they snakes? And
then, does the whistling work? Like, I can buy into the classical music lulling an animal into hypnosis.
Okay.
But then when the son just starts whistling, like, that, I cannot buy. I can buy a lot. I can buy into a lot, but I cannot buy into that.
And it also underwrites the whole quote-unquote would-be sacrifice of the musician, although he does end up getting saved, but like that he somehow knew to do that, and he did that so that the group could get on the plane. That's all underwritten. It well, anybody could have done it, right? They just whistle.
Yeah, totally.
The cats look terrible, and they're not like frightening. Like, so like even if they were,
you know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
You know, in Team America, when they have the puppets and then they just drop the real
an
cat.
actual cat, yeah.
But right away, that was like the first thing I thought of was that black cat on Team America.
And I know that cats can be quite vicious, and they bite and they claw, and like even one angry cat can actually cause you a real fucking problem. And like in the real world, that an army of feral, vicious cats would be awful, but they don't bring that across. And since they're mutant cats anyway, why not make them panther size? Then, you know, you've got your movie affected monster, and then that you can put on a poster or in the trailer, and it having it not look ridiculous. Because I have to say, did you stay past the credits? They smashed in the credits, and the techno music starts playing, and then they cut to the exterior of the plane, and stowed away at the bottom of the plane there's a little cat, because we always have to have that stinger. And that was the only genuine laugh that the movie produced for me. I was just like, of fucking course.
Yeah, because all of our movies, like you said, maybe that's the theme here, Larry. Maybe we figured it out. The final seconds of
the
every
stinger.
movie is like, because I had totally tuned it out. Like, I was done. Like, I was the crappy end music was playing. I was like, all right, this movie is fucking done. And then that happened, and I was like, are you even? And also, I had it again. I could buy into a lot, but like the son at the end, like, how did he get on the helicopter? Like, I had a lot of questions about that, and how did he not know that the cat was there? You would have known the helicopter was not that big.
No.
It was not the luxurious ship that we had at the beginning. It was very small. How did he get on there? And how did he not know the cat was there?
And again, I think that it was the last scene of the movie, and everybody wanted to be done, right?
There.
But what I'm going to say about Lost in the Pacific, it's a bad movie, but it's bad in an interesting and unique way. So if you are a connoisseur of bad movies, it might be worth seeking out just for that.
I would say it has some like real cult classic elements that could get a group of people to buy into it.
Yeah. And by the way, the $2 just for the music they play on the menu screen, worth it.
All right, good to know.
Good to know.
They are the last of their kind. Skilled assassins, trained for generations in the deadly art.
Will you stand alone before the fury of his armies?
Yes. Take a breath.
Take a dozen of your best men. Track him down. Kill him.
So, unlike all of the other bad movies that we've talked about this episode, this movie has a legitimate budget and a super legitimate director. Chuck Russell directed, I'm going to say, the best Nightmare on Elm Street movie, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors.
That's a huge shout out for you. Like, that's a big thing for you to say.
I feel strongly about Dream Warriors. He also did the remake of The Blob from the 80s, which I think is fucking awesome. He did The Mask with Jim Carrey, which, you know, it was the peak Jim Carrey movie, but it has its distinct vibe and personality, and for the era, the special effects have kind of aged weirdly well. And he also did this Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Eraser, where Arnold Schwarzenegger shoots a crocodile in the face. I have affection for this director, right? I like this director, but I feel like Scorpion King, he deserves to have a big budget. He deserves, you know, to get a movie like this. But I'm not sure if this was the right fit for this director. I think it wanted to be a little bit crazier and maybe a little bit darker than it actually ended up being.
Well, and this is like coming into a pre-established world, right? Like, we have the other movies in this, like, because this is a prequel, right? It takes place like thousands of years before or whatever.
Yeah.
And none of the other movies so far have been dark.
Yeah. And it's still...
Great.
Oh, you froze on me. Sorry. What? I lost what you...
Right, they're great movies, but I wouldn't call them dark at all.
No. They got the vibe of Indiana Jones, but with a little bit even more goofy bounce to them than Indiana Jones. Like, they're a little... Yeah, they're a tier down from that, but they have that same fun, winky quality. And I think that the Scorpion...
I mean, Indiana Jones, you have Han Solo. The Mummy, you have Encino Man. I think that pretty much sums up the differences between the two.
Well, and this is 2002. This is the movie that's turning The Rock from The Rock the wrestler into The Rock action movie star. And I'm not a big Dwayne Johnson man overall, but I do think as far as action stars go, like, he can act. He's not one of these, like, testosterone steroid victims who can barely talk because of, you know, all of the stuff going through his system. He can act, and he can play a likable action hero. I just don't think he has very much range. He's always playing a different variation of Dwayne Johnson, right? But it wasn't a lock yet. He had not established that he could carry a movie. And I do think that this movie does establish, yes, this man can carry an action movie. Yes, he can be the central part. He doesn't need to be the villain or the and role. We can have a movie starring The Rock. It's a 12-year-old boy's movie. If I saw this movie when I was 12 years old, I would think it was fucking amazing. Around that same age time, I would watch the Conan movies. The first Conan movie is legitimately amazing. The second one, Conan the Destroyer, is like this compromised PG goofy adventure that I watched hundreds of times, right? It was a more kid-friendly Conan, and even though I was conscious of it, I just watched it. And that part of me can really get into this movie. And I can really get into the pacing of this movie, especially considering the movies that we have been talking about. God bless it, the Scorpion King moves. There's nothing new in it, but it moves.
This one really stood out on the list, too. Like, when I looked at the... it was the only recognizable movie, really.
Right.
Like, Lake Placid, I knew the genre, or like the series, but like not specifically Legacy. But like Scorpion King was the only one that I really was like, oh, that is a familiar movie that I have seen the cover to before.
Yeah. And it distinguished itself because clearly it has a budget, and it has the cinematography and the scale and the extras. Whereas Dead Ant couldn't afford the cast of thousands, this could. And it helps the movie. It just does. But I think that because of that, it gets an unfair advantage. Because everybody working on this was greatly experienced, and it's not their first time on set. And, you know, real professional filmmakers spending serious cash. And over and above that, do you remember what the very first thing you see in this movie is?
him coming out going, boo.
There's that happens very early, but we see the exterior of this really rough-looking, dangerous, like, hold, and a bald, snarling face just appears in screen, and it is instantly smashed in the face with the throwing star. It's the first thing we see in the movie. It's like some random dude nailed in the face with the throwing star. The Rock is running in, he's killing everybody, scaring anyone, dropping all of the one-liners, saving his brother. And within that scene, I was smiling and nodding, and I could close my eyes and correctly anticipate every single thing that was going to happen for the rest of the movie. Correctly, which I then continued to sit and watch, and I had no problem. Like, it sustained its pace. At the end of all of this, the question becomes, is it good? And again, it's a real hard for me to say that The Scorpion King is a good movie. I'm affectionate towards it. It's professionally made. And if I was 12 years old, it would be fucking amazing. I'm 47, and it passed the time. And in this company of movies, yeah, it's the most competently made movie by a large margin. And as a consequence, much easier to watch.
But I mean, this list is like a low bar. Like, are you comparing it to this list?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Movies, or
I'm trying to grade it on this scale because it's going to rank very high on my list. But I don't want someone to think, boy, Larry's just foaming at the mouth over The Scorpion King. I sometimes like to look up the Roger Ebert review of a movie. Some of the old reviews are up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
his was really funny for this one.
Yeah. You can tell, both of them actually, they give it a thumbs down review, but you can feel like they want to give this a passing movie. They know it's a bad movie, and they know it would be unprofessional to send people to pay their $10 or whatever to see The Scorpion King. So they do give it a thumbs down, but they both look guilty about it. So I'm going to give the same thumbs down review, but without the guilt. I will say, if there's the same 12-year-old boy that lives within you that can watch Conan the Destroyer and enjoy Conan the Destroyer, this is that movie, again, modernized. But considering this man made Dream Warriors and the Blob remake, it's disappointing. And I close my eyes and imagine if it wasn't the PGI's broad, let's please everyone, and if it was the hard first Conan movie, you know, maybe I would get more into it if they leaned into the more horror elements, which was my problem with the whole Mummy franchise. That's funny, it's adventurous, it's full of action, but it is scare-free, right?
I just pulled up because I read the Roger Ebert, and it said, did I enjoy this movie? Yeah, I did. Although, not quite enough to recommend it.
Exactly. Like the dude is on point. Yeah. He is on point. It's not bad, but it's not good enough, right?
And again, it was like, I think of all of the movies that are on this list, like, they're never... It moved. The other movies in this list really tend to drag. I would say with the exception of Dead End, because there was so much happening to all, like,
right.
trying to figure out everything, but, like, Twice Dead, I was like, okay, what's happening? What is going on? Where am I?
Lost in the Pacific, you feel your life being stolen from you. Yes.
Yeah. Even Lake Placid, there were moments where I was like, okay, like, let's get the crocodile on here.
There's different flavors of bad, and this is a preferred flavor. The sort of goofy, clumsy, familiar fantasy elements. The Kelly Hu being as naked as she can possibly be without being naked, which I would say made me uncomfortable, but would be a fucking lie. And the other thing is that the only person showing more skin than her is The Rock. Like, at least it's equal opportunity, so...
And I think for me, too, it was like, because The Mummy is so funny and campy and, like, not serious. Like, they just do the double entendre stuff, like, so well in those ones. And, like, I don't know what to say. I thoroughly enjoy them, but they're not action movies to me. They're comedy, you know?
And they're
And
run
this one
on
it
their
was like-
characters, which this movie doesn't really have. Like, Peter
Yeah, and this one
Fasinelli
was
plays
like-
one of the big bads who decapitates his own father early in the movie. But I feel like he has 3 scenes. The scene where we're not sure, the scene where he's evil, and the scene where he dies. Like, there's nothing to it, right?
But I felt like this one, they put the, like, campy moments in, but then the actors were playing them, like, serious, like, I'm growling at you and stuff, and I'm like, no, like, there was a scene where, like, he holds up his sword and the arrow, like, he blocks from dying. Like, it was funny, but then he's like, I'm so serious in this moment. I'm like, no.
Dwayne Johnson and Michael Clark Duncan, and I love Michael Clark Duncan, I don't like to talk shit about it, but they're playing it absolutely straight. I think Grant Heslov, who's like the comic relief character, and Barnard Hill, the guy from Lord of the Rings, who was the inventor and made the gunpowder, they knew exactly what movie they were in. They had their notes that they were supposed to play, and they played them exactly right, exactly when they were supposed to. I think that, The Rock and Michael Clark Duncan thought they were making this epic gladiator-style action movie. Everyone else has a little bit more of a wink and a little bit more music in their voice than those two, right?
And I think that's where it kind of fell apart for me. And, like, I think Dwayne, The Rock, like, he can do camp. Like, in his later, like, if you've seen, like, Jumanji, I think he did, like, the Jungle Book, or not the Jungle Book, some jungle-themed one from Disney. Like, he's very campy. He can be very funny in playing The Rock in these movies, but, like, he hadn't figured that out yet.
No.
You know? This is, like, I think this is his first movie, you said?
Yeah.
This is, like, his big
And this was where he was much more comfortable in the action arena. He also did a movie around the same time called Southland Tales, where he is fucking lost. Like, you can tell he is the main character in the movie, and he has no idea where he is, what he's doing, and what's going on. And it's kind of uncomfortable to watch. But it's bad casting. He is just not the right person. Even if he was at the height of his acting talents, which he wasn't, he was not the right guy for that part. The Scorpion King, The Rock can do this part, for sure. And it's an is what it is movie. Like, honestly. Like, what do you expect when you close your eyes and you picture The Scorpion King, Mummy prequel, starring The Rock? Whatever you're picturing, it's pretty close, right? But it's unextraordinary. It doesn't stand out. It doesn't, it's not memorable. It's...
No.
Yeah, so... Chuck Russell, Chuck Russell, come on, buddy. It's been a bad story for him. Like, he did a terrible direct-to-video John Travolta movie, and then a terrible direct-to-video Bruce Willis movie I haven't even seen. Like, man, what happened, dude?
Come on, buddy. We're still together. Also, another creepy ant scene in this movie.
Although arguably better executed than the Indiana Jones one, I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, honestly, both in Dead Ant, when the ants are small anyway, and in this movie, the ants are handled better than they were in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. They seemed more real to me somehow in these movies. But again, that's low praise. We're looking pretty desperately.
That was, like, probably one of the standout scenes in this movie. Like, when I'm thinking of some of the other, opening scene where he, like, pops his head through and is like, boom, that was funny. I was into it right away. I was like, this is going to be a great fucking movie. The Rock. And then it just never delivered after that. Like, they just kind of, and then, like, the fireman scene was really good, and, like, there were moments, but then they were fleeting, you know? When I wish that there were more of them, or they were more developed, or something.
It's a watchable Conan for kids. That's sort of the beginning, middle, and end.
Well, and this too, like, because I was watching this one and I had my kiddo, and, like, they don't like these movies. And, like, this one I was like, it's fine. I don't need to pause this movie. You're fine. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
But
set your mind on Child. I was just going to say, set your mind on Child. Like, if you watch it like a child would watch it, you can have fun with it. But if you're going to try to analyze it or take it apart in any way, no. You'll find your mind wandering pretty quickly. Raylee and I were just talking about how this is like a bizarre thing to rank, because this is a list of bad movies. Like, I can't really say I gave an enthusiastically positive review to any of these movies. We're kind of rating shades of brown on shit here to a certain degree, which makes it difficult to rank. And like I say, so Scorpion King's gonna rank really, really high, but I don't want anyone to walk away from this podcast thinking, boy, Larry likes Scorpion King, I should maybe check that out. I've been kind of unfairly dismissing it. No, it is exactly what it looks like. It just happens to be one of the better movies on this list.
You could not see it, and that would be okay in your world.
That's right. But you're the guest, so happily you get to go first. What was your least favorite of these high-quality movies, and why?
So, yeah. Okay, this is the toughest list I've ever ranked, and I'm still doubting my list as I'm going to read it out. But in 6th place, I'm going to put Twice Dead, which I just would not revisit.
Yeah.
Would not have to print. Oh, it's just a really terrible movie. No, would not revisit this movie.
No, it's not enjoyably bad.
I just no, it's not enjoyably good. It's not enjoyably bad. It had no direction. Like, it had no like a unity. Like, there was nothing like holding it together. Like, no semblance of like cohesiveness. That's the word I was looking for. Like, and it just, but it wanted. Yeah, that's 6. That's for me.
Fair enough.
In 5th place, Puppet Master. It just didn't have. It's one of the new. Well, no, I don't even say that. Like, it's 2004. The effects should have been better, even for a Sci-Fi Channel movie. You know, like, I was disappointed. It wasn't memorable. Like I said, there's like the only line I remember is the last line in the movie, because I was like, oh, this movie is over.
Yes.
Bye. So that was number 5. At even. Corey couldn't save it. This is gonna get real tricky.
Okay.
I am putting Scorpion King at number 4.
Okay.
Only because it should have been better. It had everything going for it, including my interest in wanting to watch it.
Right.
Like, I should have enjoyed this movie. I liked the other movies. It had all of the pieces to be a good movie, and it just really wasn't a good movie.
Yeah.
There wasn't a part, and it could have been, but it wasn't, and that really disappointed me. I was like a stern father, like, so disappointed in you, Scorpion King. Could have been so much better. So that was a hard one. This is where it gets real hard. I am going to put Lost in the Pacific in the top 3.
Okay.
Only because it was so fucking bizarre. And I was interested in trying to know what was happening. Like I think summed it up so well. Like, the confusion was fascinating. And I was like, what is even, like, because it must be really hard for you to watch movies because you can predict movies, so, like, you know exactly what's going to happen. And then this one, I honestly was like, I don't even care. No, like, this is just so weird.
No, the mutant cats caught me off guard, I will confess, but not in a good way.
But, like, it was just this, like, it was like the puzzle pieces, and you're trying to put it all together, but none of them fit. They're all corner pieces or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I think I could be like, oh shit, man, you want to watch a terrible movie? I have got the best, worst movie for you to watch.
Bring
wine.
wine.
I'm gonna take the cake. Like, if we were to have a party and you were to bring, like, who can bring the worst movie, like, I would win an award for bringing Lost in the Pacific, you know? So that's why it's number 3. I am going to put Lake Placid at number 2.
Right.
Because the creature movies, you know me. Like, you looked at this list and was like, Raylee, like, movies hold a very special place in my heart, and like, I know that this movie is so bad.
But it's
like,
competently made, which not all of these movies
like,
can say.
And I enjoyed it. Like, I was still into it. I still wanted the crocodile to rip people apart. I still wanted the other people to blow up the crocodile at the end. Like, you know, I was into it. I was into the plot line. I wished it could have been better. But I still will, like, be loyal to the Placid. Like, this movie isn't going to make me hate Lake Placid.
Right.
You know?
No, I think it's an improvement in a lot of ways.
So coming in at number 1, Deadass. I had so much fun laughing at this and how ridiculous this movie was, and wondering how the fuck these actors were in this movie and what was happening, and laughing at the lyrics to the song. Like, it was ridiculous. And I haven't had that much fun making fun of a movie that I was unexpected. Like, I knew what I was getting into with some of these movies. I had no frame of reference for this movie. I had no idea. I actually thought it was like an old movie, like 80s, 90s creature movie. So when it was like,
it's 5 or 6 years old. It's not that old. 2017. Yeah.
That's what I mean. I looked it up. It's 2017. And so, again, I was like, what the like, and the bloody stumps, he's like fist pumping the song at the end. Like, it was just like pure gold to me.
I want to know what happened that had it stricken from the record. Even though I don't think it's amazing, I think they could have sold it and made money with it. I don't know why it just seemed to vanish.
Yeah, I have no idea. And if I were talking to people, like, people would have told me about this movie, right. And no one has told me about this movie. So that means that people don't know about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and even my sister and I, we had a shite week. And she's like, you need to watch this stupid movie. I can't remember what it was called. She's like, it's terrible, but it's going to make you laugh. And she's like, but don't pay for it. It's like $4 on whatever. Don't pay for it. Just log into my account and steal it. And I'm like, I hate to break it to you, but I've already paid $4 for Dead End.
Well, I feel like
watching on this shitty Friday night.
I owe you a better list next time around, maybe, or a worse one if you prefer. But
time will tell, Larry. Time will tell.
Well, I'll list mine. I was starting off with your list thinking, oh my shit, wouldn't it be amazing if we just somehow cosmically lined up out of all of the lists that this would be the one? Unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way, but we definitely start in the same place. I agree. Twice Dead there's just nothing there. Usually with these movies that you'll find in like a Corman package or like that, these retro sort of boutique reissues, even if the movie's bad, there's a scene in it or an actor in it or there's something in it that you recognize as to why it's still remembered, why it was worthy of revisiting. And I can't put my finger on what it could possibly be for Twice Dead. It's a slog. Describing it, it sounds like another one of these crazy, fun, ridiculous 80s horror movies, but it's so much slower and lamer than any description of it would be. So, yeah, that's at the bottom. And surprising me, in 5th place, and still in agreement, I have Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys.
Wow, I think this is the closest we've been, actually.
Well, it felt like they had the most to work with, even including, Corey Feldman being in the movie. But, like, you got these two different franchises with a built-in fan base and a built-in backstory. You're doing it Christmas. It doesn't have to be that serious, we'd be very forgiving. I felt like, I don't know, this movie didn't have as great a distance to travel to appease us. But it's still somehow on a list of bad movies, ranks pretty low. I'm also not a Feldman fan or apologist. I mean, I like The Lost Boys, I like Stand By Me, I like Friday the 13th Part 4, but Corey Feldman was not what brought me to any of those movies.
That's fair.
So,
it was an Aspen from the feature Dead End.
This is where the list we diverge and where it gets hard for me, though. Lake Placid Legacy is in 4th place, and I'm cheering for the movie. I like the movie, and I do think that the director is very competent. I think if they gave this same director some money and the ability to actually deliver us the creature, he could give us the real goods. To a degree to which most of the other films I don't necessarily think, boy, maybe given a different set of goods, the director could have come up with something, you know. I'm a believer in most of the cast and definitely the director of this movie. It's let down by its special effects, and that makes it kind of average. It's not distinguished in its badness. It starts good and it gets disappointing, and that will definitely hurt my revisiting it. So I'm affectionate towards it, I guess, but the thing is that I was laughing at Lost in the Pacific an awful lot. Like, it's terrible, and it doesn't know that it's terrible, and the fact that it's trying to appease everyone and actually succeeding at appeasing nobody is really fascinating to watch. Like, it was... I couldn't believe what I was watching. It seemed like it came from a parallel dimension. Like, just they didn't quite know how to close the deal on making a real movie. But there's something fascinating about watching it. I'm sorry, I put Dead Ant in 2nd place. I saw the qualities and I saw what could have been there to a degree that I actually think it hurt the movie. Because I think with a few tweaks, it would be significantly better. Significantly
and that's how I felt about the Scorpion King. Like, I could have been there, but it wasn't.
I begrudgingly put Scorpion King in 1st place, but this is the least enthusiastic number 1 spot, and a lot of it has to do with my affection for the director and cheering for him. I really feel like that guy has strengths that he was never fully able to flex, and we'll always have the Blob, we'll always have Dream Warriors, but it would have been really great for him to have another just Grand Slam hit. And even the people who genuinely like this movie are not going to say it was a Grand Slam. It's a serviceable action vehicle for The Rock, and that's the beginning, middle, and end. So the fact that it made number 1 says a lot about this list.
I feel we need like a slide whistle, like, number 1, wah, wah.
So what do you think of a title? How about for a title, Flavors of Bad?
Ooh. It's not terrible.
So I'm not married to it.
Tagline, it's not terrible.
It's not terrible. I'm working on it. But if you have an epiphany in the next few days, message me, because I don't know what to call this one other than done, because we just nailed it. Done. Thank you so much, Raylee.
No. This was really fun. I'm glad we could do it. I'll try and come up to Saskatoon and see you.
That would be lovely.
Or you come to Regina. We can go out for coffee.
Yeah, it's summer is on the horizon, as you well know. Educator.
Slackers. All right, well, you have a good night. Send me some more lists when you get around to it. Enjoy the Puppet Master saga of you and Lee. I look forward to it.
The season's going to be wrapping up right away here, so I'm going to be taking a little bit of break. But yeah, I will definitely send you some episodes because I want to stockpile before I get started. So I will take you up on that, girl. Thank you so much.
That'd be good.
So sometimes bad is good, sometimes good is bad. The world is confusing. I did enjoy this episode with all of these bad movies, although I did struggle while I was watching them. But what is the role of a bad movie? And is there such thing as a good bad movie? If you enjoyed it, was it good? Send your feedback and any other thoughts you have to ranknreview@gmail.com. ranknreview@gmail.com. The website is ranknreview.ca because I'm Canadian. Thank you so much for your ears. Please choose to fill your ears with other podcasts like the Shelf Shedding Movie Show or A Lifetime of Hallmark. Those are hosted by friends of mine. Thank you for your ears. Please tell a friend about Rank and Review. We drop every other Wednesday.